Hello internet! Today's finally the day. We've got the free character of the version. We got Dan Heng, too long for a name. You know the name is long when they have to like make your font size smaller. Look at Sunday. It takes up the whole slot like that. Well, Dan Heng Parmesan Cheese here has these for the sets, the skill sets and whatnot. But it's pretty simple though, so I'll just be scrolling through. If you want to like pause and read them as well, you could. But it's genuinely one of the most simple stuff that I've ever seen. It shouldn't be too difficult to figure out, which I'll show you later. But here's the Lightcone as well. And yeah, you don't get his Lightcone for free, so this is something you want to like figure out if you want to get it or not. I will say it's more for the survivability of it, and you'll notice though it's attack scaling, right? It's 64% attack as its effect, which if you've been paying attention, Dan Heng's shielding effect is all based on his attack, so he is an attack scaling. That means you want to like stack up a bunch of attacks on him, and which is why we have these relic sets. We got the Selfish Shrouded Recluse. It gives you more shield. It gives some crit damage as well for the ally. Why not? Of course, we have Lushaka as well to give you more extra attack, and these are the main stats, which mostly because he's an attack scaler, you'll see a lot of attack main stats on them. Moving up next, we got the Eidolons, which the first one's actually pretty good value, I will say, considering, you know, it's either you get the Eidolon or you get the Lightcone. In my personal opinion, while they both are decent, I would prefer the Eidolon first and then the Lightcone though. But we're gonna jump into the showcase real quick. But before all that, everything's here for the Create Experience server. And yeah, the deal with Dan Heng, the main thing is with his skill that actually applies bondmate to an ally. That means his best ally is when you pair it with Sunday and combine that with like a character that doesn't have any summonable object, right? Like Phainon. This will allow Sunday's skill to add an additional 50% damage increase because the target would have a summon. And there you have it, guys. The perfect synergy between Dan Heng Parmesan Cheese and Sunday. We'll be trying this team out. This is probably the best team we're gonna get. We got Phainon, pretty much a nuclear bomb with a Sarita to double the nuclear bomb. And then we have the combination of Parmesan and Sunday. I'll stop calling him Parmesan. You know, it's Permansor Terrae. Like, I've never in my life heard of those terms. We'll destroy this guy real quick, though. And hey, if you're looking to get these new characters and you're short on pulls, Loot Bar's got you covered. And here's a quick shout out. Now, I know you're tired of ads as well, but I do think this could help you out a bunch, and I won't make it too long. Just 30 seconds of your time. Loot Bar's simple. It provides cheaper prices for various top-ups, including unique ones like a Cerritos Guaranteed bundle right now. And they even have a version limited Oniric shard deal that usually costs $100, but it's just 80 now. If you're not one to drop big purchases, Loot Bar's got you covered with the Express Supply Pass for slightly cheaper too. I feel like a housewife sharing discount tips in Walmart. Best part being there's no longer required. Just your UID and server. Complete the payment and you see the resources you purchase in your account within 5 minutes. Plus, as you can tell by the reviews, they are quite positive. If there are any safety concerns, well, Loot Bar's also got great reviews even on Trustpilot. And well, I've had zero issues myself, so I find it more trustworthy than that. Reviews my link in the description right now. You can even obtain a 10% discount coupon as newcomers. It helped me out a bunch, and no pressure here, is totally up to you. I'd appreciate it though. Now then, back to the video. Alright, so first off, with this technique, you really just want to use it as if with like any other supportive characters or survival characters, and you'll notice the two icons down below here. The first one's from Dan Heng, and yeah, essentially whoever you initiate a combat with, there we go, we will apply the bondmate effect on the person that initiates combat. So as we go in, you see Cerritos starting with a skill, same with Dan Heng right there. So to attack with Phainon to enter the combat, we do see Phainon here having the bondmate Soul Dragon effect. Now this bondmate is going to appear in the action bar as if it's a summonable entity, right? It's not exactly a memo sprite. Do keep that in mind. Yeah, but essentially this dragon right now will take action as if it's like a Numby, I suppose, or like a lightning lord. It doesn't really do damage. That is until you use the ult though. Now I'll first target the skill on Phainon. You don't have to use this at all since the bondmate's already there, and his skill is only to apply bondmate on an ally and gives you extra shield, right? I will do it because it is a Phainon after all. I want to target him, and yeah, we'll take a look at the shielding effects as well for the skill. As you can tell, it's a decent amount. We see like about 3,000 shield across the whole team. It can be stacked similar to Aventurines, and you don't have to like, you know, have your ally fall attack or anything like that. You just need to use your skill, use your ult. You can stack the shields up to like 300% of Dan Heng's attack, I believe, which pretty much now that I use the skill, yep, I see 4.3k shields. It's pretty much the highest you're gonna get, I would say. It may look simple, but the effect of it though, when you pair it with Sunday, which I would say is easily his best ally, is this, right? We're gonna take some turns first, but here we go. We did the ult, so the dragon is enhanced, and we did 100k damage there. It's good. It's not nothing too crazy though, as I said, right? Now, interestingly, with this enhanced follow attack, you actually do about 80% of the bondmate's attack, and it's based on the bondmate's typing as well. So, and now the main effect of Dan Heng with Sunday. Sunday now buffs the Phainon. We're gonna get all our buffs from Phainon right here. The first thing to note though is the dragon got pushed up by Sunday's skill. So you have the dragon is treated literally as finest summonable entity right there. And you have the big things here. Benefit of paper rights, damage dealt decreases by 80% total. This usually was 30%, but now they have a summonable. It's 80% for a Phainon, so he does even more damage now, right? It's gonna get ridiculous. Now we got the Phainon. We're gonna do some good old shenanigans. 11 stacks so far. I just need to get him once. Here comes the dragon. It did 240k damage. Not nothing, right? It's really not nothing. I can't believe I'm calling 250k damage not crazy. But now we got the Phainon. You can see as well in this mode, the dragon follows Phainon. So it's treated as his own entity, right? His own summon entity. So it actually follows it in this zone. Kind of goofy looking, but in any case, we're just going to use our Ida. And this boosted by all the buffs, it does 1.5 mil easily. And we're going to activate it again via Cerebra. And on top of that, first of all, we're just murdering them all. Yeah, it's just the whole way's done. Secondly, as well, this boss is ugly as crud. It looks like a long turn of shit. But he's also weak against shielding effects. So you really want to use that against this boss, I would say. It's a free character after all. And the final thing to note, the dragon in here can actually take action too. So we're probably going to take action right into this. Let's do a Q first. Here comes the dragon. It's going to give you shield on your Phainon. It helps with survival, but I pretty much never have any issues surviving with Phainon in here. Even if you die in this mode, you're just going to return to the normal form. So it's not that big of a deal. But overall, it is helpful though. I will say this is kind of overkill for survival for MOC, but for like tougher endgames, this will probably come in a lot more clutch. But in any case, let's just start with, I guess, a Q again. No, with more than 2 enemies, we go for the W, right? So they're going to attack us. We're going to get more stacks that way, I would say. All right, let's get attack real quick. We are all sustaining with the shield. Phainon's taking 0 damage so far, which is just really helpful. We get the shield again right there. And now with a lot of enemies, gosh dang, I don't have enough stacks, but well, I'm going to get them now. Bang, 7 stacks now. We are surviving very, very well with all the shields, right? In this mode, like no one's really touching us. And yep, it's just so, as if it's not easy enough with Phainon in general, but yeah, it gets easier now. Now we're gonna use our gosh darn Edit, bring down the meteorite, and then everything just dies. We ended the phase right there already. Gosh dang it. It's unfair, baby. All right, now we do have 3 score stacks. It's kind of annoying. I don't think I can use the final hit. Is it worth it? I guess it is, huh? I guess I'll do it as the final hit anyway. Might as well. And bam, 400k only. It's not that crazy because we do have the 4 score stacks. And we're not gonna explode though, which is gonna do a lot. Yep, 500k. And that is the whole gameplay. We have Dan Heng again. You see, there's something that's unique about him, where this skill that provides the bond mate to your main DPS right here, it doesn't have a duration, so it's gonna always be there. Everything from Dan Heng's shield, except for the shielding effect itself, it's gonna be permanent on your ally, so you don't have to use this pretty much at all. So like right here, if I choose to like get more skill points, I could use a Q and I wouldn't lose any value, right? But let's remember, it is a Phainon. You want to target Phainon with skill, so that's what I'm gonna do. And you know what? We get our ult again. Why not? This ult enhances the dragon. I do no damage with the ult itself, but I do get a shield though, which against this boss is awesome. So I'm gonna go and let you hit my friggin' Phainon so you can like do more damage to him. Why not? And bro, check the shield mitigation out. And yeah, you could tell it does a lot of damage, right? That was a full HP shield that got broken completely, but thanks to the really thick shield, the way this boss works in general, like we are surviving very easily. Now I am out of skill points, so I probably should have used Q with Dan Heng there, but well, it's too late now. I guess we'll just use a Q with you instead then. We'll use an E and we'll have to be forced to use it twice based on the Cerebra effect. And it should be all good after this. The moment we can turn again, it'll be the end of this very turd-like boss. Now at Dan Heng again. In this case, I don't think I need to use any skill points at all. I'm just gonna use it, the Q right there. And that's why you want Dan Heng with high speed as well, if you can. He does generate a lot of skill points. Now let's just finish it off. We're gonna get 12 stacks of Phainon in total, and let's just go and use this. All right, it is time now. Bring down the Madara meteorite. Can we defeat them though? I'm not exactly sure if we can beat them from here. Yeah, I can. I'll probably need like 1 more cycle. Pretty sure we could have saved a cycle if we played it better maybe, but I can't figure it out. Whatever, man. We'll just drop like double the meteor. Is that one scene from Naruto where Madara just drops, you know, on top up? All right, so that took 2 cycles, which is very normal for like a Phainon clear, considering he's not exactly like, you know, in his ult, you can't really like speed things up. And that is the idea with, I would say, the best team for Dan Heng. It works with Phainon perfectly, and the main job of Dan Heng would be increasing the buffing effects from Sunday, allowing Phainon to shine a lot, right? Now, that is one of the teams. And feast your eyes on, I think, the second best team, I would say, for Dan Heng. It will be a main DPS Anaxa, which I think is just so strong. But there are a lot of options as as well, Dan Heng boosts your allies' attack, right? It's also attack scaling, all that stuff. It brings you the summon. Anything Sunday can buff that uses attack as a source of damage, you can use this team on. Of course, you can swap Cerebra off as well. But yeah, the main thing that Dan Heng will buff is basically whoever that Sunday buff. So someone like Anaxa will certainly work out. We're gonna jump right in since we use the technique Cerebra gives of the chess piece to the main team. Same with Dan Heng giving the bondmate to Anaxa now. Alright, this will be a good showcase as well because right now I pretty much don't need to use my skill at all with Dan Heng. I'll just use a Q. Almost getting my ult, why not? And here we got Cerebra. We'll just use it because I can. Legitimately, I think I use it because I can. Let's go and use a skill. Probably should not have, but whatever. I think we can generate enough skill point with Dan Heng considering I don't need to use this skill almost at all. Like, I would say just straight up at all, right? My ultimate would generate shield. The dragon generates me shield, and I pretty much don't have a need to generate the shield with skills. And I already have the bondmate right here, so I do have a lot of freedom. Let's go with an E right there. I do unlock my ult here. Let's just wait one moment. Now, with Sunday, I've speed tiered Anaxa well enough that Sunday will go right after. We're gonna push you up right there. Use my ult for once. The dragon really doesn't do a lot of damage. It does okay, like right here, 200k on 4 enemies. It's alright. Like, grand scheme of things is to just give Anaxa the really cracked out 80%. Penance of favorite rise right there. And yeah, now with the sky high damage boost, I'm gonna do so much damage. 300k right there. One extra prog into an ultimate, into an extra prog, into an extra. You know how he goes with Anaxa, man. I don't gotta let you know. That was like 1,000,000 to both of them. So yep, that's pretty awesome, man. And add on the dragon shield. Why not? And yep, that will be the idea with Dan Heng. It's very simple, right? Look at my shielding as well. It's very healthy. I gotta turn again. With this team, sometimes you run out of skill points, but I will say, since with the help of Dan Heng, you should be able to spam your skills a lot more is what I want to say. We'll see though. I feel like I'll still run out if I keep spamming Ceredra's skill, which I don't need to spam her skill at all. I'm just doing it for the love of the game. All right, so get more shielding here. We're gonna push you up again. I think this is where I really gotta like chill on the skill point usage, right? I'm gonna do it right there again. This will trigger the golden chess piece. I think I kill you with this hit right there. Holy shit, I actually did. That's insane. And it's still going. Holy. This is the Anaxa affected. That was a zone cycle clear and I was not really even trying that much. All right, now that I'm actually full out of skill points, I'm gonna actually chill a little bit. You're gonna probably summon your shenanigans. Ah, dude, I thought you would have hit me. Man, I lost a bit of energy there. But anyways, here comes the ultimate for 13,000 damage. That's legitimately about the same damage as my buy loose kick. But yeah, as I mentioned, doing damage is not Dan Heng's job. Like, he's already done enough in the dragon for Anaxa. All right, now with Anaxa, I'll use my E right here. Get these shenanigans going, right? Extra pro right there. We got Dan Heng again. He's built fairly speedy. How much speed you got? You got 166, so I can generate more skill point with you. Let's go with a Q. Got one extra skill point right there, and that might be the extra skill point you need for an Anaxa to use one extra skill to kill the boss, right? So overall, it does help you out a bunch, I would say. Now let's just end this, like, you've seen this enough times. It looks a good spectacle though every time. We got Anaxa spamming the shots on the enemies, baby. 210 into 260 into more into 219 into one more. I got it all right away. I just used it. I cannot have enough with this team. This team is way too fun. All right, now we got you again. I need to use it one time to keep the speed buff going. Ah, dude, how did I already mess up my speed buff, man? You're 162 on 167 on Anaxa. Wait, why is freaking Sunday in front of him then? Probably because I ran out of speed buff a bit late. I got no idea, man. Well, it's okay, I guess. We'll go with the E here. This will trigger it again. Why not? We do gain energy for every time your bondmate attacks. I guess I didn't mention that earlier. But you just get more ults, basically, which is pretty nice. All right, from this point onwards, it's just, hopefully we can, like, speed tune things better. Yeah, we do have it. I think Anaxa just ran out of speed buff a bit too early, huh? Get Anaxa. Get all the, replication of skills going again. This should easily kill the boss from here, I'm pretty sure. Bam. And that's the final hit. Nice. We do chain it into the ult. Maybe I should have waited, though. All right, so we're almost done. Now, it does look like I've been playing for a while, but, it's just because I've been taking so many turns. I don't think I can afford to use the skill again right here. So what I will do, I'll just use a Q instead. And then with you, I can use a Q again, generating more skill points, get my ult in as well, enhancing the dragon again, getting my shield as well. Look at how well I'm sustaining too, right? Like, all the freaking shields, they pretty much never go down. We do have cleansing as well on Dan Heng, which pretty much everything you need from a sustain you do have, so I wouldn't say there's any worries with that. I did click the ult here, didn't mean to do that, but oh well. All right, can we end it with this cycle though? That would be actually very awesome. I think this is where I didn't speed tune it perfectly, where after this turn, if I speed tune it perfectly, using Ceredra's skill on Anaxa would allow him to outspeed Sunday again. Maybe the problem is right there, but regardless though, we're almost done with you. Click you one time. We have just enough skill points, guys. Just enough for me to use Anaxa skill into Sunday skill right after this into another Anaxa skill. This is actually way bigger than you think, dude. This makes the whole rotation so much smoother, right? But with the final all, I think that should finish you, or maybe not yet. But yeah, before whoever was on the slot, I think it was like, what, Hyacinth or maybe Huo. It's definitely not Huo. It's probably Hyacinth. I guess, yeah, Hyacinth will kind of work fine as well, but Hyacinth does still need to use her skill somewhat sometimes. But I would say for Dan Heng, you legit don't need to click a skill. I don't think I've clicked this skill at all this fight, so yeah, that's pretty awesome. Did I really just not beat this boss in time? Come on. But there should be enough though. We'll do a Q and we'll finish things off with an Anaxa. That should be a solid clear, I would say, right? It's not the best clear of all time for sure, but it's solid. It was a 3-cycle clear. If I didn't miss that one turn of speed tuning with an Anaxa, I'll probably get 2 cycles there. But you know what? The main point being, that's how like the team usually sings. We got Dan Heng with paired with Sunday, giving whoever that usually doesn't have a summonable entity, giving them one, right? In the shape of the Bond Dragon. And once you get that on, you get the maximum buffs from Sunday, and that'll allow whoever your DPS is to do even more damage now. Plus, as just a sustain in general, Dan Heng is actually fairly solid. I will say with this Lightcone, you feel way better because you get so much more attack. First of all, you do also get a HP heal as well when you use your ult, similar to like how Ho-Ho's Lightcone is. So by getting this Lightcone, you survive much better. But if you don't care for survival and you would prefer like to buff his supportive capabilities, I would actually suggest for you to go and pull at least an E1, because you do get all-type res pen by 18%. That is big, and you recover a skill point with his ultimate. If you just get this E1, the team that I just showed you with Anaxa, that just becomes impossible to mess up. You can spam Ceredra's skill, and you can still have enough skill points, and that will maximize like the speed you need to clear with the Anaxa team. And for Phainon team, well, it's always already really strong, so getting more skill points is definitely fire. And yeah, for final verdict, I think Dan Heng is really strong considering it's a free character, right? It's a sustained character with debuff cleansing, CC cleansing, with shielding and some healing if you get his Lightcone. Pretty much everything you need from him, he has it. But he's a free character and he does do shielding effects, which is not something a lot of other sustains that's like strong could do. I would say the only person is venturing right now. So yeah, he's a fairly solid character, I would say, especially when paired with Sunday. It allows him to like shine a lot better with certain characters without summonable entities. Do note though, it's not a memo sprite. Like this summonable dragon is not really considered a memo sprite, so you can't really just use this with every night and expect her to just buff everyone, treating everything as the memo sprite, though that would be a fun idea. You know what I'm saying? That'll be all for today. We'll be cooking up more content with Dan Heng Parmesan cheese, and that'll be all. If you guys enjoyed this one, and take care.